Good day, Ms. Leonin here. Today we will be discussing quadratic equation. A quadratic equation is in the form ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0, where a, b, and c are real numbers and a should not be equal to 0. You have to take note that the degree of a quadratic equation must be 2. The following are examples of quadratic equations. X squared minus 25 is equal to 0. 3x squared plus x is equal to 0. X squared minus 4x plus 3 is equal to 0. M times the quantity of m minus 6 is equal to 0. N cubed plus the square of n minus 1 is equal to n cubed. For the first three examples, it's easy for us to say that these are quadratic equations. Why? Because we can see that the degree is 2. For numbers 4 and 5, we have to remove the grouping symbols and determine the degree. If the degree is 2, therefore, the given equations are quadratic equations. For number 4, the exponent of m is 1. So to simplify, m times m is m squared. M times negative 6 is negative 6m. We'll be copying equals 0. The degree is 2. Therefore, the given equation m times the quantity of m minus 6 is equal to 0 is an example of quadratic equation. In number 5, we can see that the highest exponent of n is 3. But it's too early for us to decide that this is not an example of quadratic equation. Why? Because of the grouping symbol. So we'll be removing first the grouping symbol by simplifying n minus 1 squared. This means n minus 1 times itself. So to get the product of n minus 1 and itself, we'll be using the FOIL method. The product of the first terms n and n is n squared. The product of the outer terms n and negative 1 is negative n. The product of the inner terms negative 1 and n is negative n, and the product of the last terms negative 1 and negative 1 is positive 1. Combining negative n and negative n, we have negative 2n. And we'll be copying n squared and plus 1. The product of n minus 1 and itself is n squared minus 2n plus 1. So, our equation will be n cubed plus n squared minus 2n plus 1 equals n cubed. We can see in here n cubed. These are like terms. Like terms are terms with same variables. In here we have variable n. Like terms are terms with same exponents. The exponent in here is 3. Like terms can be added or subtracted. So, to simplify this equation, we'll be subtracting n cubed to both sides, giving us n cubed minus itself plus n squared minus 2n plus 1 equals n cubed minus n cubed. N cubed minus itself is equal to 0. So, we'll just be copying n squared minus 2n plus 1. The resulting equation will be n squared minus 2n plus 1 is equal to 0. We can see in here that the highest exponent or degree is 2. Therefore, the given equation n cubed plus the square of n minus 1 equals n cubed is an example of quadratic equation. Now we'll be determining whether the given equation is linear, quadratic, or neither. If quadratic, give the solution. Number 1. 4x minus 5 is equal to 6. What is the degree of the equation? Yes, it is 1. Therefore, the equation is linear. Next, we have 3x squared minus 25 is equal to 83. What is the degree of the equation? Yes, it is 2. Therefore, the equation is quadratic. Now we'll be finding the solutions of 3x squared minus 25 is equal to 83. Since there is no linear term, or the quadratic equation is an incomplete quadratic equation, then we'll just be extracting the square roots. We'll now be finding the solutions of the quadratic equation 3x squared minus 25 is equal to 83. To do this, we have to add 25 to both sides of the equations, giving us 3x squared minus 25 plus 25 equals 83 plus 25. Now to simplify, we have to add negative 25 and 25. The sum is equal to 0. So, on the left side, we have 3x squared. On the right side, we have to simplify 83 plus 25. The sum is 108. Now, to simplify the resulting equation, we have to divide both sides of the equation by 3. Three x squared divided by 3 is x squared. And 108 divided by 3 is 36. Now we'll be getting the square root of x squared and 36. The square root of x squared is x, and the square root of 36 are 6 and negative 6. Therefore, the solutions are negative 6 and positive 6. Now we'll be determining whether this equation is quadratic or not. To do this, we have to remove the grouping symbol. To remove the grouping symbol, we have to multiply r and r plus 1. So r times r is equal to r squared. And r times 1 is equal to r. Then we'll be copying the terms on the left side of the equation, giving us r squared minus 5r is equal to r squared plus r. We'll be subtracting r squared to both sides of the equation. R squared minus itself is equal to 0. So, the remaining terms will be negative 5r and r. Since the degree is 1, then the given equation r squared minus 5r equals r times the quantity r plus 1 is a linear equation. For the next equation, x squared plus 6x plus 9 equals 0, grouping symbols are not present, and the degree is 2. Therefore, this equation is quadratic. Now, to find the solutions, we have to look for factors of 9, whose sum is 6. The factors of 9 are 9 and 1, negative 9 and negative 1, positive 3 and itself, negative 3 and itself. We have to get the sum of each pair. 9 plus 1 is 10. Negative 9 plus negative 1 is negative 10. 3 plus 3 is 6. This is the sum that we are looking for. So, we'll be using the factors 3 and itself. The zero property of equality states that the product AB is equal to 0 if and only if A is equal to 0 or B is equal to 0. So, each factor can be equated to 0, giving us equations x plus 3 is equal to 0 and x plus 3 is equal to 0. Now, solving for x plus 3 equals 0, we have to subtract 3 to both sides of the equation, giving us x plus 3 minus 3 is equal to 0 minus 3. 3 minus 3 is equal to 0. So, on the left side of the equation, we have x. In the right side, we have 0 minus 3, which is equal to negative 3. Therefore, x is equal to negative 3. The solutions are negative 3 and negative 3. Next, we'll be determining whether the equation n times the quantity n squared minus 6 equals n squared minus n is a quadratic equation or not. To do this, we have to remove the grouping symbol by multiplying the binomial inside it by the monomial outside. So, n times n squared is n cubed, and n times negative 6 is negative 6n. Then we'll be copying the terms on the right side. We can see in here that the highest exponent is 3. Therefore, the equation is neither linear nor quadratic. That's all for today. Thank you for listening. Again, this is your teacher, Miss Virginia B. Leonin. Be safe and have fun while learning. Thank you.